Hey, I'm recording this right after my first video because, yeah, and if you watch the first video, my mission, what I want to do, I actually want to talk about discipline for a moment and something I found out with discipline. So, discipline, a lot of people think is like, oh, doing things when you don't feel like it. Yes, that's the core of it, but it goes a little deeper than that. Discipline is basically using fear in the right way. Now, what does that mean? What is using fear in the right way? When you do something when you don't feel like it, right? You have an idea in your mind what it will feel like if you don't do that. So being conscious of that feeling and then doing it. So for example, I wake up at like 5 a.m. every day to go on a run. And I use discipline because a lot of times I don't want to run, but I use discipline because it's the fear that drives me. The fear of knowing that I had the choice to do it, but I didn't. And it kind of instills an image that if I can't even do this, how can I ever be successful, right? So I do it because I'm fearful of what can come after that. A domino effect per se. If I don't run, then I'm not okay with doing no work, right? If I don't have the discipline to run, I don't have the discipline to do 3 hours of deep work. I don't have the discipline to read a book. I don't have the discipline to resist the junk food. I don't have the discipline to study. I don't have the discipline to go to the gym. It's that very fear that drives you. It's that very fear that domino affects, that you have this like idea in your mind that if you don't do it, a domino effect can occur and it can just discard all your progress. So that's what I kind of like think a discipline is. And the way you can harness this fear is through negative visualization, right? So negative visualization basically is just visualizing the negatives, right? And that kind of sounds like weird, but it's actually a stoic practice, right? And how I use it is actually like a couple like weeks ago, I do like 2 laps around, but then I set myself to a higher standard, right? That I was gonna do 3 laps, right? And then I negatively visualized myself not like achieving it, like just doing 2 and be like, all right, that's it. Just doing 2 laps of the track that I jog on, and that's it. Since I set myself 3 laps, right? And I negatively visualized that feeling of doing only 2, knowing consciously that I was striving for 3. It gives me this like negative feeling that if I can't even do 1 more lap, how can I be successful? How can I read a book for 1 hour with how can I do my work? How can I start a business? How can I go to the gym if I can't even have the discipline to do one extra lap? And that kind of drives you to be like, to prove yourself wrong, that you're better than that. And that's where discipline lies. Discipline lies in the fact that you fear that if you can't even do this, you can't do anything. And that's actually a very powerful mindset, because if you can't do that, then it kind of say like you're putting yourself at a higher standard, that this is expected out of me. Now that I expect 3 laps out of me instead of 2. If I didn't have like that discipline or that drive to be better, right? Then I would just be 2 and okay with it. But I wasn't okay with 2 because I knew I can do better. So I promised myself 3. I negatively visualized myself not achieving 3 laps. And this can be with everything, right? If your goal is to be like, go to the gym 4 times a week, right? And you negatively visualize yourself knowing that, oh, I should go to the gym, I'm not doing anything, but not doing it, it kind of sets this tone that I can't even go to the gym. I don't have the discipline to go to the gym, so how can I have the discipline for anything else? It kind of drives you to do the thing, because it's out of fear of not being able to achieve bigger things if you can't even do this small task. You know what I'm saying? And then the more times you do that, you don't even have to do that kind of process anymore of setting yourself a standard. So let's say, for me, I'm gonna use this example again. two laps. I do 2 laps, right? I was like, I can do more. I set a standard 3. So I was like, I'm gonna do 3 laps instead of 2. I negatively visualized myself literally doing 2 laps and saying in my mind, okay, that's okay. I'm fine with that, right? And then it kind of puts this feeling inside of you deep in your stomach that I can't even do, if I can't do 1 lap, 1 more lap, even if I don't feel like it, how can I do bigger things? How can I ever be successful if I can't even do these small things, right? And it kind of just gives you this drive, kind of gives you this discipline that I need to do this now because I need to prove that I can be better. I need to prove that I'm better than this. And this can work with waking up early. If you set your standard that I'm going to wake up at 5, right? And negatively visualize yourself with the alarm clock and pressing snooze. It's like, I can't even wake up early, so how can I even dream about being a millionaire? How can I ever dream about having a 6-pack if I can't even wake up early? If I can't even wake up at 5, I see 5 o'clock, but I still snooze. How can I be better than that? How can I ever be better than that if I don't even have the discipline, I don't even have the drive to wake up at 5 when I promised myself I'll wake up at 5? It's that fear that drives you. With that being said, peace.